Group E in the Champions League looks like this. Chelsea, Milan, Salzburg and Dinamo Zagreb. Lucho, give us your pick to win and who's going to join them in the knockouts.
I'm going to make another bold suggestion this time again. I know that you were kind of crazy in the previous group, but I'm going to go again with one a little bit strange, but I got my idea. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to go, of course, with Dinamo Zagreb. Not making it. I think that they don't have, well, yeah, they got a lot of quality, but they're not going to be able to go through with the amount of talent that they got in front of them. I got AC Milan not making it. And yeah, that's crazy. I know it sounds a little bit crazy. They did fantastic. They are the winners of Calcio last year. But I think, again, when you do so well, and I think with a couple of 3 injuries that they got at the moment, if they start the way that they started last year, the competition, I'm not sure if this is going to be able to make it through to the next round. And I'm going to go with, of course, Chelsea to go through as first. I think they got just an amazing amount of talent up front, players who can score in every single moment, with Sterling and Havertz making a big impact. And now with Fofana at the back, that is something that they've been praying to grab and try to control the back, to try to be as defensive, as well organized as last year. And in my second position, yeah, Salzburg, why not? This is a very young talent team. I think that when you have hungry players, that they are ready to fight for you, I think this team can make a big impact. Starting the first game against AC Milan, I think is going to be at their advantage. If they can do well and start with 3 points, be careful with this Salzburg, because we've seen it before. Young talents can make a big difference because they have nothing to lose. They are there and they know that making what the manager is doing, they could get something very well. So Chelsea and Salzburg to going through.
It's official, everybody. Lucho Garcia does not like AC Milan. And you think that he would because he beat him
I'm shocked,
in the Champions League
Lucho,
final 2005.
honestly.
I mean, Milan handed a Champions League trophy to Lucho and his friends when they were up 3-0. It doesn't get any more kind than that. But yeah, here he is, dumping all over Milan. I love to see it. So I've got Milan winning the group because I think they're going to learn from getting crashed out in the group stages last year where they got bottom of the table. But I think that actually helped them go on to win the Scudetto in Serie A because that allowed them to focus on one competition only. But I think they're going to learn from those 6 games where they have a lot of their young players that now have that experience. That was their first time back in the group stages for quite some time. And I think they're going to kick on and learn from that. I think their manager, Stefano Pioli, is one of the most underrated managers in Europe. And I think he's going to figure out a way to make sure they at least get through this group. When you got Zagreb and Salzburg, they got to figure it out. But I like them to get top of the table. And that's because Chelsea hasn't got an identity right now, oddly. I mean, they've signed, I don't know how many players, and Thomas Tuchel complaining about how he doesn't have enough talent just drives me absolutely crazy. But he's going to have more than enough talent. They've got the experience to figure out how to get through. I just think they're going to finish in second. I don't even know if they know what their best 11 is yet. And once they get that sorted out over 6 games, I think they will. They're going to figure out a way to get into the knockout rounds. I got RB Salzburg finishing in third. To Lucho's point, I do think they have some tremendous young talent, though they got rid of some. And Karim Adeyemi and Brendan Aronson. And now they have other players that are going to emerge, like Okafor and Benjamin Sesko in particular, 19-year-old up top. I think he could be a breakout star in this competition. Now, with all due respect to Dinamo Zagreb, I think they're going to get in last. They haven't made it to the knockout round since 1998. Their best player, Mislav Orsic, was 5 or 6 years old when that happened. So they're going to have fun, I think, in this competition. And I think they might take some points here and there, but I think they're still going to be on the bottom.
Yeah, I think the first game for Chelsea in Zagreb is going to be interesting because Chelsea's still trying to figure a few things out right now. We could tell that what's happening domestically for them in the Premier League. It's interesting to watch Chelsea. I think Tuchel will figure it out when it comes to the Champions League eventually. I'm worried about them in that first match day, though, against Zagreb. I think it'll be a difficult place to go play. Obviously, a tremendous atmosphere. I watched Zagreb go through late stages of the knockout game, trying to even get into the group stage, and it was an incredible atmosphere. And they got some experience up front. Petkovic and Orsic, I mean, players that you can rely on that can take an opportunity in front of goal. I have Chelsea still winning the group, though, because I believe in Thomas Tuchel. I believe in the project that Chelsea are putting together. Even though it's a little crazy right now, there's so much talk, it's a lot of nonsense at times. It's still interesting, this story, and I don't think the Chelsea story's been written just yet, so I expect them to improve as this quick Champions League campaign goes over. Now, who finishes second? I think it'll be a debate between first and second. It'll be a debate between them and Milan. Milan have got going through, Poppy, and Milan could finish top of the group. Now, both of these teams play each other on match day 3 and match day 4 in October, and I think those two games will determine who finishes top and who finishes second. Milan this past weekend in a derby looked excellent. Leao looks outstanding. This might be a breakout season for him, not only domestically, obviously got a couple of goals at the weekend, but I think in the Champions League as well. And watch out for, let me say if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Charles de Ketelaere. De Ketelaere. What?
Either way.
What a player. What a player. I mean, just a phenomenal footballer. And this guy could be potentially the next biggest star to play for AC Milan, but also to play in the Champions League. He has done already previously before he was sold there for Brugge. But I think this is an outstanding player to add to your squad. So Milan could push for first place, Poppy, and I'm guaranteeing you've got them in first.
Oh, how did you know? Honestly, I'm just still in shock about Lucho Garcia's prediction. I can't quite get over it. He's not even got them going through to the knockouts. I have got them winning the group, but I'm with you, Ian. I think that match day 3 and 4 is going to be decisive. No doubt Chelsea have got so many good players, but I'm not convinced that it's all come together yet for Thomas Tuchel. So Milan first for me, like you said, Leao, expecting him to be the difference. And how can you go against Mike Maignan in the back? He has been absolutely incredible. Let's keep moving then, shall we? To Group F we go. It looks like this: Real Madrid, RB Leipzig, Celtic and Shakhtar Donetsk. I've got Real Madrid and Celtic as my picks. Jimmy, who have you got as yours?
Oof. Yeah, Hala Madrid y nada más. I think that Madrid, who are the reigning champions, are going to obviously own this group. They're going to run it, and it's going to be up to Carlo Ancelotti to really figure out how to balance the squad and how he balances what's happening in La Liga as well, because I think this is a really manageable group. I do want to state, though, for the record, that I think losing Casemiro won't hurt them in this group because this group feels manageable. But in the knockout rounds, when they need that big-time player to protect the back four and really get into the dark arts of defending, they're going to miss Casemiro, I think, in some ways. But we're not to that phase of the competition yet. So I like Real Madrid to get first. Now, on paper, I think RB Leipzig is the team that should finish in second. They have so much talent, most notably Christopher Nkunku, who was magnificent last season. They've re-added Timo Werner to their squad, so that gives them a little bit of a different dynamic up top, maybe something they lacked last season, but they struggled a little bit right now in the early part of this Bundesliga season, and that makes me a little bit worried that Domenico Tedesco, their manager, hasn't really unlocked the potential of this team. But can he do it in 6 games in 8 weeks? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Celtic, I think that's a good shout, Poppy. And I'd like them to maybe get some points at Celtic Park. They were tremendous in their 4-0 win against Rangers in the Old Firm this past weekend. But I just don't know if it's going to be enough for them to, if RB Leipzig shows up and plays to their quality, if they can really outlast them in particular. And then with Shakhtar Donetsk, they're a Ukrainian club. I don't even know how they can concentrate given what's going on in the real world around that. Maybe they need that escapism. They need something positive to focus on, and maybe that will give them the momentum and motivation and energy to get some results here. But I just don't see it happening. So I have them finishing in last, and I have Celtic finishing in third.
Yes, Jimmy, a lot of things happening to Shakhtar and a very young team. It's a very young team that probably doesn't know how to play in this competition. They are going to be the rookies because the average, I think, is 23. And I think it's going to be just too difficult. So I'm not going to put them to make it. I'm going to go, of course, to Real Madrid to be at the top. I think that Ancelotti once again proved that every single year he just gets better. And I'm surprised against last year. I struggled to see Real Madrid going through so easily. No one was trying to put them in any danger. In the last part of the season, they just were getting better and better. That history, that background that they have is just fantastic. So I'm going to put them there in the top of the group. And in second, I'm going to go for Leipzig. Once again, I think that when you have players up front who can decide games with Nkunku and Timo Werner, I think it's just fantastic. Dani Olmo got injured at the weekend. We'll see what happens. They are also missing Poulsen. So 2 very important players, but I still think that they got enough quality to make it through in this group. So Real Madrid and Leipzig to go through. And once again, Real Madrid, be careful with them because they look very solid at the back and up front with Vinicius Junior and Benzema in a fantastic moment. Once again, they're going to be contenders to win everything.
Something's wrong with me. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm going against the Germans again, Poppy, believe it or not. Leipzig, but the 2 boys mentioned in Timo Werner and obviously Christopher Nkunku has signed an extension to his contract, long-term extension, probably to make more money so they can sell him on next transfer window. They didn't get a shot on target against Eintracht Frankfurt. They were outplayed against that Eintracht Frankfurt, beaten 4-0 at the weekend. They were poor. They were awful. Actually, they were worse than that. And I think Domenico Tedesco might be the next manager to get fired in the Bundesliga. Believe it. There's a big possibility. If he doesn't have success in the Champions League quickly and he doesn't have success in the next 3 games domestically, he's out. And I think you're already starting to see rumours about that right now circling around the German media. So I don't have them finishing in the top 2. Who do I have? And hear me out on this one, all right? You might hear the accent in Poppy. I love you for that, by the way. Nice choice with going with Celtic. Real Madrid are going to win the group. Yes, they should cruise. Absolutely cruise. It's a tough one for them against Celtic in that first game. They should beat Celtic. They're absolutely favourites in that first game. But Celtic Park, it's a different place. It's a different team right now. What Postecoglou is doing with Celtic and what they did at the weekend against Rangers, they dismantled the Rangers side. They made them look silly. They are outstanding right now. They've brought in a number of top talented players. And Kyogo Furuhashi looked like he went off injured with a shoulder injury at the weekend, is back in training, and he's going to start. Looks like he'll start at least in this first match day. So interesting to see that type of player at that football club, but it's not one that you can hold on to for long because I think he'll have a lot of success in the Champions League this year. So I've got Celtic finishing second in the group. I think Celtic will be very difficult to beat, even against Real Madrid. At home, I think they'll cause them problems. So I'm hoping a surprise result in that first match day against Madrid.
No doubt it's going to be a tough test, isn't it, for them on match day 1 at Celtic Park. Let's take another look at our picks then. We'll start with Group E. This is what it looks like. Jimmy, Ian and I all going for Milan and Chelsea to get out of the group, whereas Lucho thinks Salzburg is going to get out with the Blues, and this is how Group F looks. I'm going for Real Madrid and Celtic, as is Ian. And then Jimmy and Lucho, they're both in agreement. Real Madrid and the German side, RB Leipzig, to advance to the knockout rounds.